Welcome to Through the Rough, a place where real-life people share the real-life experiences that have shaped us into who we are today.
Today, we're diving into a really powerful story from the podcast Through the Rough. It's an incredible look at how someone can go through an absolutely unimaginable trauma and come out the other side with this profound sense of emotional clarity. And it all kicks off with one single terrifying moment. So just try to put yourself in that situation for a second. It all started with this moment of just absolute terror. Tessa Thompson, who shares her story on the podcast, sets the scene with these chilling words. And this isn't just about a physical thing happening, it's the exact instant her entire world got turned completely upside down. I mean, think about it. She's only 29 years old. She's driving 70 miles per hour down a busy interstate, and out of nowhere, she suffers a massive stroke. A life that could have been yours or mine was just completely and instantly derailed. But what's so incredible is this sheer will to survive that just kicks in from the very beginning. While she is literally having a stroke and losing control of her own body, she somehow finds a way to steer her car across 2 lanes of high-speed traffic and get to safety. Just an amazing first act in what would become a very long, very difficult fight. But here's the thing. The physical crisis was really just the start. The real battle, the one for clarity and understanding, that began in the hospital. This was a whole different kind of crisis, an internal one, all centered on this immense, crushing weight of blame. And you can just hear the devastation in her own words from the podcast. Right after it happened, lying there in a hospital bed, she was absolutely convinced that the stroke was her fault, that somehow she had done this to herself. And this right here, this is the first major breakthrough on that path to clarity. Her internal story was all about self-blame. But the reality, which didn't come out until later, told a completely different story. And when that assumption crashed into the truth, well, that was the first crack of light in the fog. So what this meant was that her recovery couldn't just be about getting back to the person she used to be. That person was gone. Instead, it had to be about building someone entirely new out of the wreckage. The podcast frames this so powerfully as becoming Tessa 2.0. Her therapist gave her this incredible way of looking at it. The whole process was framed as a kind of grief, like she actually needed to put her old person to rest. It's such a profound idea, isn't it? That you have to let go of your old self to truly make room for the new one. And this leads to one of the most powerful turning points in her whole story. This quote just shows her raw, defiant, powerful acceptance of her new identity. This wasn't just about healing anymore. It was a rebirth. What's so fascinating is that this emotional journey she was on, it had a physical counterpart happening right inside her own head. Her brain was literally rewiring itself. It's a process called neuroplasticity, where it forms new connections and basically reroutes pathways around the damaged areas. Her mind was rebuilding itself, right along with her. So all of this, the trauma, the blame, the rebuilding, it all led her to the most profound piece of emotional clarity you can imagine. It forced her to ask a really fundamental question about what makes a person, what makes them worthy? And really, this is a question for all of us. Stop and think about it for a second. What truly defines your worth? Tessa had no choice but to find a brand new answer. And just look at this shift in her perspective. It's incredible. Before the stroke, her worth was all tied up in her productivity, her abilities, what she could do, what she brought to the table. After, it became about her character, how she treats people, how she shows love. It became about who she is. And her own realization just sums it up perfectly. This right here, this is the core aha moment of her whole journey, discovering that her self-worth had nothing to do with her physical abilities. So why does this all matter so much? Well, Tessa's story, as you hear it on Through the Rough, isn't just a list of things that happened to her. It's like a map. It shows how real, lasting clarity can actually be found in the middle of the struggle, not just once it's all over.
So what was the engine that powered her through all this? It really came down to self-love. She realized she had to love herself enough just to try, even on the days when she looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize the person looking back.
And this is the kind of real, practical wisdom you get from listening to stories like hers. Her advice for anyone who is going through the rough is so simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's a clear, actionable guide to resilience. And that's really the point, isn't it? When you engage with stories like Tessa's on Through the Rough, you're not just passively listening. It's an active process. It's a way to see resilience in action, to think about your own self-love, and to find your own path to emotional clarity by learning from how others found theirs. Which kind of leaves us with this final thought. Tessa found her resilience through an unimaginable trial. It makes you wonder, how do we find and build that same resilience in our own lives, maybe before a crisis forces our hand? Perhaps the first step is simply to listen.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stop by throughtherough.net to check out our latest episodes, merchandise, and hit that donation tab to keep content coming. See you again next week.